Welcome to episode 1 of the Quarter Brain Cell podcast. So, bear with me. I've never done anything like this before. But today, we're going to be talking about that thing right there. San Guardian, thank you for the tier 1 for 16 months. Wow. Thank you. As a forewarning, I do have sound alerts off because this is also going on YouTube. I'm going to be making a channel for specifically this. But yeah, we're talking about that thing right there. That is the SS United States as it is today. But we're also going to be talking about the man who really started that whole thing out, Mr. William Francis Gibbs. The SS United States is his brainchild. Well, was his brainchild. He's dead now, but we're going to talk about him for a little bit. So, we start off with a man named William Francis Gibbs, born August 24th, 1886. When he was 8 years old, Gibbs watched the launch of the SS St. Louis and became enamored with ships, and began dreaming of a grand ship to surpass all others that would fly the American flag. That one right there. In his adult years, after leaving his father's law firm, Gibbs' first project was redesigning the ocean liner SS Vaterland, which is a German liner given to the United States after World War I for war reparations. Renamed to the SS Leviathan, it held the title as the largest ship in the world for a short period. Once his redesign was complete, his skill was appreciated by the government, media, and other architects. Groups such as the Pacific Review named Gibbs America's foremost naval architect. Look how cool that thing looks. It's you can tell. Gibbs was absolutely enamored with safety at sea, learning many valuable lessons from many naval disasters, such as the sinking of the Titanic. The first ship designed entirely by Gibbs was called the SS Malolo, Malolo. During her sea trials, she was struck amidship by a freighter, ripping a massive hole into her hull, breaching her engine room. The damage was so severe in the thing that the chief of the U.S. Navy construction and Gibbs' own mentor, David Taylor, immediately assumed the ship was going to sink, much like the Empress of Ireland did over a decade earlier. However, because Gibbs was, like I said, so enamored with safety at sea, his advanced design for watertight bulkheads ensured that the Malolo remained afloat with minimal casualties and minimizing any further damage. Keep in mind, this is a boat ramming into the middle of another boat and ripping a fucking hole in the center. And it stayed floating. Because of that man. And his absolute enamorment and just absolute will for safety at sea. Most of Gibbs' safety at sea today wouldn't be where it is without Gibbs, pretty much. Rest assured, that incident really only cemented Gibbs' reputation in naval architecture. In 1936, Gibbs's work put him in contact with American officials to whom he pitched his idea for his dream project from his childhood. That thing. The U.S. government wanted to replace the aging SS Leviathan, which Gibbs had also redesigned, so a new vessel could operate the passenger liner service during peacetime and as a troop transport during wartime. While it wasn't the massive superliner Gibbs dreamed of, he was selected to design the new ship, which would become the SS America. Different ship. Not that, but if you Google SS America, you can definitely see the similarities between the designs. They're not completely alike, but they're very similar. The SS America was a bit smaller, but big boat. Yes. Yeah, you can have yourself a Google search of the SS America. Smaller boat, very similar looking though. In some aspects. After the outbreak of World War II, the United States ramped up its industrial output tenfold, as we all know. Pumping out hundreds and hundreds of ships every single year. Over 70% of American ships during the war were designed by Gibbs and his company. 70% of them. That's a lot of boats. Designed specifically by Gibbs and his company. If I don't know if any of you are familiar with World War II, Liberty ships. I'm sure y'all might know of Liberty ships. That was Gibbs. And there was a warship that he designed, but I can't remember what class it was. Hold on. Yeah, I can't find it. It was one of the warships that we used. Was designed by Gibbs' company. After the war ended, Gibbs naturally was at the absolute fucking height of his career. And now finally at 63, he felt it was high time he fulfilled his childhood dream of designing the greatest all-American liner. That one right there. Mystic, thank you. Oh, wait, no. Laser Bagel gifted that sub. Thank you, Laser. So, yeah, it took Gibbs, since he was 8 years old till 63 for him to want to design that. For him to finally achieve his dream. Like in the Chill History podcast? Yeah. This podcast is not going to be only history. But it's going to be other stuff too. But it's going to mainly be talking about ocean liners because I'm a nerd. Oh, that's an old one. That's an old one, Laser. Molly! I still got it. Okay, where were we? Right, here. 1949. Gibbs was finally given the contract to design and oversee the construction of Hull 488. In 1950, the construction began in place of the USS United States, which was a planned aircraft carrier, whose construction was canceled in favor of the peacetime vessel. That one. Hull 488 would take the dry dock originally intended for the carrier, and 2 would also take her name, being designated the SS United States. That one. Her construction was a joint effort by the United States Line, which was the shipping line that owned the United States Line, and the U.S. Navy. The cost was split. $25 million was spent by the United States Line, and $20 million from the Navy. already unprecedented at the time. Because back then, governments would subsidize part of the cost for ocean liners to be used as troop transports during wartime or auxiliary vessels and stuff like that. But they wouldn't pay for almost 50% of it. But wait, it gets better. Later on, they would give another $25 million. That's $45 million total towards the ship for the incorporation of national defense features. National defense features. And I quote. What those national defense features really were, it's still, I'm still having trouble finding that in my research. But my general conclusion is, pretty much most of her design was kind of along the lines of a battleship in some aspects. So her conversion would have been, if she was actually used in wartime, would have been a lot easier, as well as her engine room. Because she had an engine room very similar to aircraft carriers of her time. Also, one of Gibbs' stipulations for the ship was it needed to be entirely fireproof. Because Gibbs had witnessed the disaster of the SS Morro Castle, another American ship, which was lit ablaze at sea and killed a lot of people. If you look up pictures of her wreck, you can see why Gibbs was so adamant on the ship being fireproof. So to minimize the risk of flames, the designers of the United States did away with the use of wood on the ship. The only bit of wood that was actually on the ship was the galley's wooden butcher block. And that was it. There was no other wood on the ship. Fittings, including like furniture and fabrics and such like that, were custom made from glass, metal, and fiberglass. Also ensuring compliance with the U.S. Navy's fireproofing guidelines. Another one of those national defense features, I believe. Asbestos-laden paneling. I know, right? Asbestos, the wonder material. Was used extensively inside the interior structures, and many small items were made of aluminum. So like railings, stuff like that, or like trimmings was all aluminum. Excuse me. And the ballroom's grand piano was originally also meant to be aluminum, but I think it was due to like cost or something, or I can't quite remember. It might have been a design difference on the design or something like that. But it was actually made from a treated mahogany afterwards, and Gibbs made a big fuss about it. However, there was a demonstration which they poured gasoline all over the mahogany piano, lit it on fire, and yeah, it didn't burn. The gasoline burned away. The piano was fine. To give you an idea of how fucking fireproof this boat was, they lit the fucking piano on fire and it didn't burn. To give you another idea of why this ship is so fucking great, she was an absolute speed demon for boats at that time. And she still is. If she was still in her prime, she would still outrun most of cruise ships. During her heyday, her top speed was always under like speculation and rumor, because it was actually classified back then. It was classified by the U.S. government. Once it was declassified, though, it was revealed that her top achieved speed was 38 knots. Now, most of you might be wondering, great, what the fuck is a knot? That's just the speed that they use to measure at sea. That equates to about 45 miles an hour, or about 71 kilometers an hour. And keep in mind, her top achieved speed. Achieved speed. They probably could have milked a few more knots out of her if they really wanted to. She was also pretty fucking efficient. She was able to sail 10,000 nautical miles at a steady speed of 35 knots, which is about 40 miles per hour or 64 kilometers per hour, without refueling. So basically, she could go 10,000 miles on one tank of fuel. Naturally, tanks are a little different on boats, but you get what I mean. Being due to being so fast, during her sea trials, which is basically testing out the ship, when they ramped her up to full power to measure her top speed, when they brought her back into dock, the paint had actually been shipped away from her bow at the waterline. She went so fast she stripped herself of her own paint. Which is fucking insane. She also, in 52, she took the fabled Blue Ribbon. What is the Blue Ribbon, you may ask? That is the award given, or was the award given, for the fastest transatlantic crossing by an ocean liner. Which the transatlantic route was from New York to, I believe, Southampton in England. So New York City to Southampton. I can't quite remember. She did it in 3 days and 12 hours. 3 days and 12 hours. That's like an extended weekend. Keep in mind, this is some other ships that held the Blue Ribbon. The Queen Mary took it in 1938. If you don't know the Queen Mary, that's the ship that is currently sitting in Long Beach, California. That it got turned into a hotel, which I want to go see someday. She was owned by Cunard Line. And, yeah, she took it in 1938. Her time was 3 days and 21 hours. So the SS United States beat her by almost 10 hours. Beat her time by almost 10 hours without trying. It did not... They did not try. They did not try. If she really wanted to, they could have cranked her up to 40 knots and probably done it in at least in like 2.5 days if they wanted to. And where was I? Oh, right. So, naturally, she was fast. She was really fast. Another fun fact about her, all 48 states at that time, in 1952, had a contribution into the ship. My state, Pennsylvania, provided the China. Yes, this is an actual cup and saucer from the ship. I paid an exorbitant amount of money for that. Less than you think, more than I'd like to admit. Unfortunately, there is no actual list that I have been able to find of what the other states provided for the ship. I'm assuming it's just like small stuff like the furniture, materials, and stuff like that. But Pennsylvania provided the fine china. And now for the last fact that I have lined up. The entirety of her superstructure and funnels, keep in mind, her funnels were also the largest to ever be put to sea. 55 feet tall and 65 feet wide. Biggest funnels to ever be put to sea. But the entirety of her superstructure and funnels were composed of primarily aluminum. Over 2,000 tons of it were used, making it the largest use of aluminum in a single project up until that point. Which also contributed to, probably contributed to why she was so damn fast, because she was actually pretty lightweight for her size. Adora Dino, thank you for the raid. Welcome to my podcast. We're talking about that boat right there. Now, you may be wondering, Greg, this is all fine and dandy and all. Why are you telling us about this boat? This boat is currently in danger. She is the last and largest all-American made ocean liner left in the world. And currently, she sits in Mobile, Alabama, waiting to be sunk as an artificial reef. That is bad, because in 1999 she was put on the National Registry of Historical Places, so she's on the registry. So one, already kind of illegal to sink her. Two, again, like I said, she's the last of her kind. She's the last one left. If we get rid of her, there's no going back. That's it. She's the last relic of an era bygone. This brings up the environmental issues with turning her into a reef. Because the county in Florida, Okaloosa County, that bought her, they sink ships like it's nobody's fucking business. So they're it's gonna be the world's largest artificial reef. Ooh, yeah. It's bad because for those of you who do not know what zinc chromate is, raise of hands. Anyone know what zinc chromate is? I'll tell you what zinc chromate is. Zinc chromate was sort of an industrial primer that you would use before you painted something back in the day. Precisely around the 40s and 50s. It's also a carcinogen. What is a carcinogen, Gray? It causes cancer. It is extremely toxic. And that's just to people. That is just to people. Imagine trying to make a reef out of something that is riddled with cancer dust. It is a carcinogen to people. Imagine what that would do to fish, to the entire environment that they're trying to build down there. That's bad. That's real bad. They're gonna fucking kill everything. Everything's gonna fucking die. And if it doesn't die, and people fish down there, catch the fish that are already laden with fucking cancer dust, people catch the fish, eat the fish, then what? Then what? Also, besides, being riddled with cancer dust, as I said earlier, asbestos. While in the 70s, she was taken to Ukraine and stripped of most of her asbestos panels. Most. There's still some left. There's still asbestos on board. Also, all of her paint is lead-based. It's based out of lead. Because, back in the day, they were all about that lead paint. Which, if they wanted to safely make it a reef, all that would need to be stripped off. Everything I just said would need to be stripped off. And we'll be like, oh, okay, Gray, well, surely they're going to strip it off, right? No. They're not. They already came out and said that the zinc chromate is staying, the lead paint is staying, and they didn't say anything about the asbestos. But still, cancer dust and lead paint does not make it good for an artificial reef. And neither does aluminum. Because when aluminum degrades in seawater, it is also extremely toxic. So everything about this ship screams, don't make me a reef, because it'll kill things. It's going to kill a lot of things if they do that. It's going to be bad. So, what can we do about that? Well, if you see here in the pinned comment, or the pinned chat message, there is a link to the New York Coalition to Save the SS United States. They are currently our best shot at saving this ship and saving marine life. Okaloosa County has pretty much been ignoring our pleas, as they do, because they are infamous for ignoring even lawsuits. I'm not a fan of Okaloosa County. So, New York Coalition currently has a lawsuit open with them, and we are currently constantly getting in touch with state reps. So, if you want to help in any way, shape, or form, go over to the website that is in the pinned chat message. I believe the petition, the petition's still up. There is over 12,000 signatures, last I checked. Go sign it if you want. If not, that is fine. I get it. But I do implore you to sign it. If you want to help out even more, and you live in the United States, with all this information I gave you, or if you're interested in learning more, Google. But, contact your state reps. Make them aware of what's happening here. Because we can't get this back. This is a one and done deal. People have been trying for 40 years now. I mean, shit, she's sat in Philadelphia for the last 30 years. And if I were alive a lot sooner, I would have started my part of the fight a lot sooner. But this is our last chance. This is it. She's in mobile right now. She's being cleaned up. They're stripping parts off of her. And her fate is still very, very uncertain. But like I said, if we lose, that's it. She's gone. And we can't get her back. There's less and less ocean liners of this type left in the world year by year. And we're down to a very, very finite few left. There really isn't many left. And this is the last American one. And this is the largest American one ever built. Largest all-American built, I mean. So that's the largest boat America ever built in the ocean liner category. And they're going to get rid of her. And we're trying really hard to save her. So, like I said, if you want to help out, go sign the petition. All YouTube viewers, I will be linking it in the description. I suppose if anybody in chat has any questions, this is a really impromptu episode 1, so we're only sitting about 40 minutes now. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I will wait patiently. Also, if no questions, that's fine also. But, yeah, this is where we sit. She currently sits in mobile, waiting for her fate to be decided. Any questions at all? I will take that as a no. So, this is where we're at then. Save her or sink her. Last chance. So, where I'm gonna keep up my fight. Probably not next week, but I'll try for the week after. I'm gonna try to do these every week. So, not next week, but the week after, I am having a rep from the New York Coalition to Save the SS United States on as a guest. And he will also be talking about what they're trying to achieve. I could go into it a little bit, but I'm not extremely well versed on what they're going for. I know they're trying to save it. I know they're trying to moor it up in Brooklyn, New York, to open it up for public use and restore her. Also, to add insult to injury, Okaloosa County, in exchange for sinking this precious ship, said, "Oh, well, we can open up a museum for you." They're gonna put the museum in an old Red Lobster. And an old Red Lobster is what they're going to be putting our beloved ship's museum in if they sink it. That's insulting. That is just so fucking insulting. So, sign the petition. Please. I beg of you. We're already at over 12,000 signatures. 12,323. Keep in mind, if you do not live in the States, you can still sign the petition. That does not prevent you from not signing it. Naturally, contacting state reps, that does. You can't do that if you don't live in the States, unfortunately. But you can still sign the petition. Doesn't matter if you live in Canada, if you live in Mexico, you live over in Europe. You could live in fucking Russia. There's actually, I was looking at a graph of all the signatures the other day, and there's one signature from Russia. Doesn't matter where you're from, you can sign the petition if you want to see this ship saved. But that's all I've got for now, I think. This is my plea for you all to save this boat, because it means a lot to me. This liner was one of the big inspirations for me to start looking into ocean liners. Because she was very close to me, proximity-wise, for a very long time. And unfortunately, I was never able to see her in person. I want people to have that opportunity to see her in person, because they don't make them like they used to, as they say. You know, it's a relic from a bygone era, and once it's gone, it's gone. There's no replacing it. There's no rebuilding it. It's gone. So, sign the petition if you want. You don't have to. Don't feel pressured to if you don't want to. But I strongly advise that you do. Because, like I've repeated multiple times fucking already, because I'm a broken record. Once it's gone, it's gone. But I think that's all I have now. We'll be back next Monday, same time, same place. And that'll be April 14th. Same bad place, same bad channel. Yeah, sign the petition and save this boat, because I will cry if we don't. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you, Shatner. I appreciate that. Yeah, I guess that's the end of episode 1 of my impromptu podcast. I would have been better prepared, but I wanted to get it out of the way, because I'm guesting tomorrow night on the Dumbed and Dumdish podcast, and I'm going to be talking about this exact same thing. Shatner, I will link you to the podcast tomorrow, where I will be talking about this exact same thing. I am also going to be editing this and putting it on YouTube. And by editing it, I mean I'm probably just going to upload the raw file. This series of tubes, yes. So yeah, this will be going up on YouTube here in maybe like a day or two. Whenever I get it up. Tomorrow I will be guesting on the Dumbed and Dumdish podcast and talking about this exact same thing. So if you want to hear me go on the tangent there as well, the channel is Mystic Artemis. I will be, if you want me to, I will send out links for that as well. But yeah, sign the petition if you haven't already. Thank you for attending the first episode of Quarter Brain Cell Podcast. I was not prepared for this, but I wanted to get out of the way before I guested tomorrow. Next week, we already have our guest lined up. It is my friend who is making the Buckshot Roulette short film that I'm voice acting for. So we're going to have him on next week. He's going to talk about the film. And yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it off for now. Have a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I will see you all when I stream next.